Um, I was gonna make this video yesterday, but I said I'm gonna go ahead on and I'll wait till the nighttime and upload this video, being that it's concerning Martin Luther King Jr. And I know his day is one of the days that Black people celebrate in America. Um, and I have nothing against that, but I made this video for a reason. I'm about to tell y'all why I made this video. As I begin to grow older and do my own research, I begin to uncover certain people who I feel would have been better suited to lead the black community than Martin Luther King Jr. And not only do once I researched these individuals and found out about them and compared them to Martin Luther King, it all became clear. Everything became very, very clear to me, and why they like to hail Martin Luther King Jr. as the hero for the black community. I don't get me wrong. Dr. King had a lot of great attributes about himself. He had a lot of great vision for the black community, but for the most part, he was so caught up in basically begging the white man, and I'm saying this respectfully because I'm not trying to make it as if no other race, including the white man, is our adversary. Because once again, this channel is not a pro-black channel. This channel is not a hoop and holler and the black man, the white man, white. Because at this point in 2023, the white man is no longer the black man problem. The white man is no longer a problem to the black community. And if he is, it's a very, 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 very small problem, to the point where it's almost not even noticeable. I like to compare it to the leaky faucet. Our real problems is abortion, black on black crime, fatherless homes. That's the real issues in our community. That I call that the fire in the bedroom. Police brutality and racism and all that, that's the leaky faucet. It may be a small problem, but it's not at all the problem. Um and Martin Luther King was all about nonviolence, um, and basically begging the white man for a seat, not a not a share in wealth, not a share in he didn't want basically the playing field to be even. All he wanted was, we want to go to school with y'all. We want to hold hands with y'all, and nothing wrong with that, because as a man of God, I love everybody the same. And I do feel like Martin Luther King was a decent person. It's things I heard about him I'm not gonna get into. Um, I've heard he was a communist. He was a trained Marxist, um, which is pretty much anti-God and pro-government. But I'm not gonna get off into that here. I'm just gonna take the good attributes that we know him on his birthday, in the wake of his birthday, and we're gonna leave it at that. But my issue was, why was it that he is the one that is so hailed as being the savior, the leader of the black community in the driver's seat. He got statues in D.C. I believe they just got him a new sculpture with him and his wife supposed to be embracing. I believe it's in Boston, Massachusetts. Um, why is that? And today, black people, these pro-black people, these liberal black people, that so-called blame all their problem on the white man. The white liberal plays as if he's their friend, and the white liberal gives them the hug that apparently that's what they want. They just want a hug. And this is that Martin Luther King disease. That they just want a hug from the white man. You talk to black people about their issues, and the first thing come out of their mouth is, what about the white people? White supremacy majority live in white and black people head more than it actually exists, which is it does exist, but black people are the main people who always putting white people on the pedestal. When they get money, where do they lose? They leave the hood and go move around white people, right? Everything dealing with them is always what about the whites? You only gonna compare yourself to it's almost like a little brother. That's how the black community have become. Like a little brother or a little sister who see that they older brother or older sister get privileges that they don't get. So they go to the parent and say, well, what about big sister? Why I can't do listen. That's how the black people come off as, and the liberal white understands that and uses it to his benefit or her benefit. And what they do is they ponder to the black man, the black woman, to the point where they make them feel like, yeah, you're right, man. Sister, man, we're racist and this, that, and the third. And it's just so I'm gonna be honest with you. I never did like liberal whites. Um, when I was a liberal, I didn't even like liberal white because it's like they tried too hard. But my initial question is, why is it that they push people like Malcolm X to the? I mean, I'm sorry, not Malcolm X, because he'd have been a great person. But I'm saying, why is it that they push people like Martin Luther King to the front of the line for the black community? They all like to play this Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King this, Martin Luther King that. Why isn't that Malcolm X don't have a statue in his own day? He warned us about all the stuff. And remember, Malcolm X was murdered or assassinated in 1968. 1968, I believe. No, I'm sorry. 1964. 1963 or 1960. No, I know it was 1963. It was 1963 that Malcolm X was assassinated, right? And these are the things that he said, as you can look at the screen. He warned us then about the white liberal. He warned us then about the white liberal. And today, these wokey woke blacks, these liberal blacks, they still is being basically, I don't even know the word I'm trying to find, by the white liberal. It's like they just want a hug. When a white person comes, then you even got some of them like Jane Elliott, who they so liberal and so foolish that they, to the point where they put black people on a pedestal over their own race. And I don't feel like no race should put another race over their own race. I look at all races equal. But what I'm not going to do is ever put another race above my race. I look at people in the eyesight of God, and God created all of us equal, right? But the white liberal is very dangerous. As you can see here, Malcolm X said that the white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful than the conservative. Both want power. We all want power. But the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. The white conservative, what today, white conservative is the ones who will help you. Every time I ever had a situation or the opportunity that I have had, the white conservative helped me. The white conservative at this point in time, I don't know about what was going on back then, but the white conservative usually is pro-God, pro-Constitution, and believe it. Donald Trump was a white conservative. And they believe in American values and everybody created equal. They believe the country was founded on Christian Judeo values by white conservative men. I mean, it is what it is. White conservative men either play two positions dealing with black people. Either they not gonna deal with them, or they gonna deal with them, love them, and help them. But it's gonna be genuine. It's not gonna be the white liberal. The white liberal is very dangerous. Let's go back to another post that the great Malcolm X commented. When blacks gave 80% of their vote to the Democratic Party in 1964, black activist Malcolm X called them political chumps. Put them first and they'll put you last because you're a chump. A political chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you, you are dumb enough to walk around continue to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your own race. And as we know, in 1964, the Civil Rights Bill was passed by Lyndon B. Johnson, and he clearly stated, "I'm gonna have you niggas vote. I'm gonna have you Negroes vote for me for the next 200 years." Never have they ever did anything else for black people. Never. Every year, the same old, same old. Even the so-called Barack Obama, they get in office, lie to black people, and don't do nothing for them. And black people still giving their vote to the Democratic Party for free because they was raised and taught to vote for the Democratic Party. Why? I do not know. I guess because the Civil Rights Movement, but that's over with. And that was a big mistake, by the way. Click the link in my bio on the lecture I gave on why the Civil Rights Movement was a big mistake. Also, and yet most black people, not only will they continue to vote for the Democratic Party, if you tell them to vote otherwise, they'll get mad. When Republicans when blacks prior to the Civil Rights Movement was Republicans. I got a video on that. Click the link in my bio. Right? And I explained why Democrats became black. Because the KKK was founded by the Democrats. And the reason why the Democrats founded the KKK was because at that point in time, the KKK wasn't just a racist group. That's not what it started out as. But what it started out as, what they would do was, at that point, they had white people that was Democrat and they had white people that was Republican. But all black people was Republican. And so they was killing black people because all black people was Republican because they wanted to make the Democrats more stronger. And so what happened was, they got, eventually black people got tired of going, fighting and going at it with them, which is some blacks still stayed Republican, but I'm saying some didn't and some went to being Democrat. They was all about making, the KKK movement wasn't started on racism. I'm sure it eventually evolved to being a racist organization, but it started out as a Democratic-ran party, basically a radical Democrat-ran party that wanted they didn't kill white people because white people, they didn't know at that particular time when the KKK came out in 1800. They didn't know if white people was Democrat or Republican, so they wasn't killing whites. They was killing only black because they knew for a fact blacks was Republicans. And so that's what the KKK was all about in its beginning stages. And it was started by the KKK. The Jim Crow laws was the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party voted against the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Republicans has always been for the black community, really for America, basically. The Republican Party has always been pro-America and anybody in America, black, white, blue, or green. And yet black people still to this day is voting 91% Democrat. We even had a white president who has a clear racist history by the name of Joe Biden, and who told black people, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's how serious it is. And they still went vote for it. When we had a President Trump who had did so many things for black people. I've got videos on that. Go check them out. Let's go to the next quote from the great Malcolm X. The Democrats are playing you for political chump. And if you not only vote and if you vote for them, not only you're a chump, you're a traitor in your own race. I already said that. But look, after he said that, he was killed 2 days after this. Now my thing is this here. This goes back to my initial question to the black community. And I want you to ask yourself this. And I'm going to give you some names for you to go research, right? Give you some names for you to go research. And I want you to ask yourself, why is it that Malcolm X, why is it that Martin Luther King, somebody who basically was a socialist, communist, trained Marxist, and basically somebody who just wanted to have a seat at the table, right? Which is, I'm not against what Martin Luther King did. I'm glad the fight that he fought to, put blacks, in the conversation. Now the way he went about it, I'm not all the way with, because the stuff that you was doing and the thing that you was going through, you should have been trying to put us on an even playing field. Not just I want to go to school with y'all. I want some of this wealth, right? And so why is he put in the driver's seat, all these statues, and hailed as the super black hero? Why isn't people like Malcolm X in that seat? Why don't he have statue? I'm gonna give you a few other names that, like I say, I want you to research these people, and I'm gonna tell you why. The great Walter Williams, Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver. Why isn't that these people, right? These are people who wasn't talking about, hey, beg the white man for a seat. These are people who was telling you, do for yourself. Do for self. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And just think, if these people that I just named would have been leading the civil rights movement, and instead of telling black people, hey, go beg to go to their schools, y'all build y'all own schools. Y'all build y'all own. Y'all pull yourself by your bootstrap. Just think what a black community will be now. We still, to this day, got that same mindset that when we get some money, we want to move around the white people. We still got that same mindset that everything we do, we want it to be affirmed by a white man. Unconsciously sometimes. Sometimes we not even conscious of it. Right? And it's all derived from Martin Luther King. If Malcolm X would have been in a position, if they would hail Malcolm X in the same position that they held Dr. King and give him statues and give him a day, right? Or if you don't want to use him because he's a Muslim, let's not use him. Let's use Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington. Why ain't these people in the position that they put Martin Luther King in? Because if they would have did that, the whole black mindset to this day would be different. And instead of begging for a spot, wanting to move around these certain type of people, we would right now be thriving, because our mindset would be right now, we got to do it for self. We're going to build our own. We're not going to wait to be affirmed by somebody else. We're not going to wait to be promoted by somebody else at their company. We're not going to move into their neighborhood, because our neighborhoods is just as better, if not, it's just as good, if not better. But I'm in the video on that, man. I want y'all to go do research on these people. And I want you to ask yourself, why wasn't these people taught to us in school? Why wasn't, well, because they taught us briefly about Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver, but why wasn't these people taught to us in school? Go look up these people. And if you want to scratch Malcolm X off, even though he said some great things like the things I just showed you, if you want to scratch him off, okay, fine, cool. And I'm not taking away what Dr. King did, because although I don't agree with some of the things he did, I do agree with his mission to motive and his ulterior motive. Let me just get my people in the door, and then other things will happen. Right? I get that. I ain't mad at it. That's why, like I say, look. But I wanna end this on this. This is what I really want to end this on. This is what I really want to end this on. This is what I really want to end this on. Stop saying, if you gonna believe in Martin Luther King, and that's who you want to support, and you don't want to do the research of the people that I just told you about, Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver. You don't want to do your research on them. You're going to stick with Malcolm. You're going to stick with Martin Luther King and let him remain in the driver's seat in your life and look at him as a black hero. That's fine. That's fine. But I want you to read this, and I'm going to read it aloud to you. And stand on that. Understand that. Stand on that and understand that the word that I'm about to say, when you think about Dr. King or whoever you want to think about, but if you're going to think about Dr. King and celebrate Dr. King, this is the way you honor him. Honor the legacy of Dr. King by putting some clothes on, black women. Stop celebrating baby mama culture, black women. Stop making babies you don't intend to take care of, black men. Get a good education. Contribute to your own society. Marry and make babies. Marry and make babies. Marry and make a lot of babies. Surrender your life to the Lord. Love people, not skin color. He died for this. So don't celebrate him while being committed to dishonoring him. And I want to go to this video. They had an MLK parade in my hometown today. And this is what took place. This is how they honored Dr. King.
They really fighting though, like really? Ooh, ooh, ooh. This ain't fighting. Oh shit! Oh shit! Let me record this. They fighting. Are you serious?
This happened, and I'm not from a big town. I'm from a rather small town you seen by the name of Lake Charles, Louisiana. And this is how we honor Dr. King. In the parade, in the honor of him and his birthday, this is how Dr. King was honored in my city. So whether you honor Dr. King, celebrate his birthday, or you decide to honor other people that I said, because as for me, I don't have a black leader. I follow God. But the people like Jesse Lee Peterson, Larry Elder, Walter Williams, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, I follow their model. I follow all their model. I take something from all of them. But I just want to know the main question in this video: why is it that those people wasn't taught to us in school, and they held Malcolm X as the leader for the black community? Just a question. Thank y'all for listening. God bless.